Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Merry stupid o'clock. It is 3:18 a.m. in the morning, Central Time, and quite literally, nobody should be awake at this hour. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. And folks, we are going to that horrible world of the JRC, so please have your calming tea ready, your shoulders squared back for the stupid we're going to have to endure this morning. And let's get ready to go here. Okay, usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to find the link to this train wreck of a report right there in the description box, along with the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, fill out your name, click on your senator. Takes less than 2 minutes to assist us in getting rid of aversive treatments and inappropriate restraints in schools. We lose more lives to this every day than you folks can possibly know. So please get it done and share on all your social media. And of course, the ever present change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, we are going back to where we left off yesterday, staff supervision and safety. I find it ironic, before we start, how often this judge uses the word safety. And considering the so-called treatment plans at the Judge Rotenberg Center, it makes me wonder, does he have any comprehension of what that word actually means? Or does he have any comprehension of the oath all doctors, physicians, medical assistants, anybody in the healthcare or mental health care field have to take before receiving their degree of do no harm? But anyways, just an interesting tad bit. So here's the summary of the so-called quote-unquote findings that the JRC bought and paid for. Alright, so let's go ahead and start reading this here. In addition of the overnight school supervisor position was an important change made by the JRC after the 2007 incident. Okay, this is a change they made that they didn't really make. Okay. This position fills the gap that previously existed with regards to reporting and notifications and provides another important layer of oversight during shifts at the residences. Here we go again. I swear if he says paperwork. JRC seems to be making reasonable efforts. Again, this judge's idea of reasonable. Do you know what the meaning of the word reasonable is, Judge? I feel like that should be another episode of That Word Doesn't Mean What You Think It Means. JRC edition. To find experienced supervisors and staff to cover for shifts where the designated supervisor is absent. Judge, I'll ask again, how is that going to keep the kids safe? You yourself have noted that they actually promote from within. But you got people who have been brainwashed since they got out of high school. More experience here actually does more harm than less experience. Let me explain that, because that sounds crazy, right? Think about it. Those people who have actually been able to put their morals, critical thinking skills, and logical thinking skills, and, their freaking heart aside long enough to be promoted, have drank the Kool-Aid so deeply, I don't know. I think only a miracle of God could actually make them actually see what is really happening at that place. So, no, Judge. I don't think having a more Experienced supervisor in this case is actually going to make anything more safe for anyone. What I do think is a more experienced supervisor would be more experienced at keeping things swept nice and neatly under the rug. It makes you more comfortable, Judge, not the students. However, there is currently no written policy or procedure for the method by which the school supervisor or overnight supervisor can attempt to obtain coverage for these supervisor shifts. Additionally, staff who have been employed at JRC for more than 6 months but have not completed the supervisor training are able to serve as shift supervisors if there are no trained supervisors available to cover the shift. Oh, for the love of God, Judge. Okay. On one hand, you are in love with their upper supervisors and you are in love with paperwork. On the other hand, but what if there are no shift supervisors available? I don't know. Hire more. Preferably somebody from the outside world who've gotten an education from somewhere other than your messed up, backward state that masquerades as progressive. Thought. Just this idea I had. The supervisors interviewed reported that it can be difficult when direct care staff are different for each shift at a particular residence. That is true of literally every residential health care facility anywhere, period, anywhere in the world, Judge. Come on, you gotta do better than that. Well, it seems that residential supervisors and residential coordinators are assigned to a particular residence for a certain period of time. Many non-crisis direct care staff are rotated among the residences for every shift. Oh, for the love of Pete. Okay, Judge. Your idea of crisis and mine are way different because, mine relies on actual logic and actual science. And don't forget the all but absent at the JRC critical thought. Supervisors indicated that this can make handling a crisis or dealing with inappropriate behaviors by the students more difficult, as the students tend to act up more with staff they are not familiar or have a relationship with. Oh, spare me, Judge. Again, we're going to blame the victims again. Okay, now let me use my usual flawless logic, Judge. Okay, non-compliance, questioning any of the insane things you are doing to these students, does not deserve to be punished by being shocked by a device that is made to hurt people. Okay? Blinking does not deserve to give someone a reason to shock you. Stopping work for more than 5 minutes if you are awake is not a shockable offense. I mean, more than 5 seconds, sorry. It's actually worse. Again, what is wrong with these people? Further, supervisors stated that staff is able to work more as a team when they think more consistently with one another. I actually think less experienced staff who look at that situation and think it is insane as a logical person with half a brain cell and a heart would actually be beneficial to the students because then they're, not being punished for existing. Additionally, JRC's security consultant, Ted Condon, does not currently have a formal title and has never been formally introduced to JRC staff or the board of directors. While he is a positive presence in the residence during weekend shifts, it is unclear whether direct care staff understand who he is and his role. To the degree that there may be some value to his unannounced visits and inspections, Greater benefits are possible with his presence and duties more obvious and known to all. You mean he makes the JRC and therefore you look better. But there's a cop there and he doesn't see anything wrong, so everything's above board. No, JRC. That's not how it works. All it does is make you look corrupt as hell. And in the police department, corrupt as hell. Finally, while JRC maintain a safety committee comprised of school administrators, the board of directors does not currently have a subcommittee dedicated to reviewing student safety. Again, I'll say it, Judge. Your idea of safety and mine must be entirely two different things. My idea of safety comes from freaking logic and having been around group homes, day programs, retirement homes, and the general medical community since before I could walk. I don't know where you get yours from. Just saying. When Missouri is actually, for lack of a better term, more progressive than a supposedly progressive state, you got issues. Sorry, my kitty's going off there. It's all right, Mew. You're okay. We don't have an edit button. Additionally, sorry. Oop, I lost my spot. Okay, recommendations. The process by which school supervisors and overnight school supervisors find coverage for a supervisor shift should be written down. It may help to make things clearer and maintain consistency if this process was written down and could alleviate some of the work that is done to rotate coverage among the direct care supervisors and experienced staff. Again, Judge, how does this help? Can we please stop with your love affair with freaking paperwork? Dear God, get it together here. Paperwork is not what caused the August 26, 2007 incident. Please stop. For example, perhaps a written list of each supervisor and experienced staff member eligible to cover shifts could be created, on which the school supervisor or overnight school supervisor can indicate the dates these staff members covered supervisor shifts in order to rotate coverage responsibilities and maintain consistency. Brahma! Brahma! What the hell, cat? Stop it! Sorry, folks. It's one of those mad at air mornings. Okay. Let me reread that. Additionally, in order for a staff member to be called upon to recover a supervisor shift, they must have completed the supervisor training. No staff member should be serving as supervisor at a residence if they have not gone through the additional training required for supervisor. Oh, for the love of God, Judge. So 1 minute you are telling me if they've been there for longer than 6 months, even if they're not a supervisor, they can act as a supervisor on the shift. Then you're going to turn around and literally, in your recommendations, demand that they have that additional training. My God. What the hell? This is why we go through it, boys and girls. This is why we go through it, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, and all the like. Because this judge is nonsensical. He literally contradicts himself in almost every single paragraph of this report. It is just mind-boggling. I do not think this judge is sufficiently competent enough in healthcare or mental health, let alone mental health or disability law to have even been chosen to do this report in the first place. Man should have been left to be retired. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm not ageist or anything. I'm just saying. This is one of the most rambling, nonsensical, full of useless information legal reports I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot. All right, moving on. Although absenteeism and commuting distances for staff may constrain JRC's ability to maintain consistency among staff and the residences, further efforts should be made to do so in order to help supervisors maintain control and safety in the residences. Control. Safety's almost thrown in there as an afterthought. Because again, he thinks these programs are safe. I don't know what crack he is on, but it must be some good stuff. Because what the actual hell? The word I want you to focus on is control. This judge thinks we need to be controlled by any means necessary. Yes, even if that means using instruments to punish us for existing while disabled. If you don't think that is scary, I suggest you think of what if you got put into a home like this because you're left-handed, and every time you're left-handed, use your left hand, they shock the crap out of you. Okay? It is literally on that level. It really is that simple. You're like, but isn't that a false equivalency? It's really not. It's really not. Think about what these kids get shocked for. Stopping their work for more than 5 seconds. Blinking excessively. Literally waving their hands in front of their face. Just saying. Ted Condon should be formally introduced to the JRC Board of Directors and should be given a formal title. Additionally, staff should learn about him and his role in basic training so that they understand his function within the JRC community. In other words, Judge, you want him even tighter tied in to the JRC, which makes it even a more obvious conflict of interest. Is this judge even thinking? I wonder. This will promote transparency and trust in relationship between administration and staff at the JRC. But does it promote trust between the students and the officer? What if these students need to go ahead and tell this officer something? Can they really trust someone getting his pockets lined by the JRC that is in tight with the staff? I can hear it now. Who's going to believe you? Even the police officers on my side. I can hear the threats now. Just saying. The board of directors should expand its numbers and form a subcommittee dedicated to reviewing student safety. This subcommittee should meet more often than the full board does and have a dedicated place in the agenda of board meetings to provide updates and share any concerns the subcommittee may have with the rest of the board. The board safety subcommittee would maintain a relationship with the staff and the independent ombudsman as well, should the recommendations be adopted. In addition, this subcommittee of the board would ensure that all relevant committees at JRC, Human Rights, Safety, and Incident Review committees, remain in close communication and stay in touch with one another. Or more likely, stay close in touch so you can cover up anything before it gets exposed. So, let's talk about this here. This morning excerpt is very, very telling. What the judge biases are, what his overriding concern is, it's about control. It's not about safety, it's about the appearance to the outside world about safety. What the judge wants more than anything is that these students be controlled every day, every second of their lives. And he believes that they should be controlled by any means necessary, even if it means treating those students as less than animals. That is the level of corruption, heartlessness, and cruelty that many disabled students have to fear in the state of Massachusetts. This is the level of inhumanity they get to fear every day in case they too are thrown into the JRC. I want you to think about that. This is why this case, this issue is so important. The state of Massachusetts, from what I am showing from this report, does not care about its disabled students. It just wants us controlled. So you and I have to care. You and I have to go out there and make people see and expose this place for what it is. We have to not let up until somebody acts to protect these kids and make it permanent. And on that note, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.